So, Sachin, it's obviously well known that IBM's acquired Envizi. Envizi started as an organisation in 2008, went for a few years. IBM started using it at some point, and they acquired Envizi in 2022.
Yeah.
So that's a fairly recent acquisition. Obviously, it's getting all bedded in, but interested to understand some of the decision processes within IBM around the acquisition. Is it just easier to own it rather than procure it, or what were some of the decisions that led to the acquisition?
Yeah, very interesting story. So again, back in 2014 when we started the sustainability practice, and we were meeting our clients. Some of our larger clients obviously wanted to do sustainability reporting. Some of them were doing voluntary reporting at that point of time, and reporting frameworks were getting more complex. They were evolving. And they were getting more international, more complex. So, I think one thing was clear, that we need a software stack that can do data foundation, bring all the sustainability data together, and be able to do reporting in a sort of a seamless way, as automated way as possible. So it's a classical build versus buy decision for us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we looked at, what would it take us to kind of build this kind of a solution.
Yep.
We looked at that option. It was on the table, but it's a little complex. It is time consuming. So we looked at the options outside. And of course, we were using Envizi, for our own sustainability reporting as well.
Yep.
And we just love the tool,
yes.
For the simplicity of it, for the ease of use. And for the efficiency, it was providing us.
Yep.
We did compare it with some other tools in the market as well.
Okay.
And then, we kind of decided that, this is the right tool for us. So, I'm sure there would have been a number of other factors which would have gone in, which are, beyond sort of my pay grade, in terms of making that decision.
Okay.
But we provided our inputs. And I think I was very happy that our choice in terms of Envizi was the choice that was made by the corporate.
Oh, very good, very good. Must be nice to own a little bit of that, making process when you see it in use.
Exactly.
So time to market obviously was a key factor.
Correct.
In terms of buying versus building. It is inherently complicated. One of the things I've definitely seen in Envizi, the roadmap is busy. There's so much going on. At the last user group, I quipped to the development team and just asked them to slow down because it's hard to actually keep up even as a partner.
Don't tell them to slow down.
Okay. But I mean, it is a really crowded market.
It is.
There's a lot going on. What are the tricks that you're using to sort of keep on the bleeding edge there? Like what?
Yeah. So look, sustainability, I would say, is still an industry sort of trend that has been evolving. There are new developments that happen in sustainability all the time, internationally, and we know, how geopolitics also plays a role in terms of sustainability.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can actually have a roadmap, but that roadmap is very dynamic, very fluid. It really depends on what we feel customers need, what we feel industry needs.
Yep.
And hence it's a very very flexible sort of a roadmap. And I'm really happy that the product team does an excellent job in terms of keeping Envizi updated with all these new roadmap features. So to answer really your question, there are so many features that we would want on Envizi right now. There are so many already there, but we could do with so many more. But it is really the ones which are going to give us the most value, for ourselves and our clients.
Yep.
Essentially in the next, short to medium sort of time frame that helps us prioritize, those functionalities over others.
And how important features like the ideas portal for, customers and partners submitting ideas, is that something that's looked at?
So that's one of the most important inputs, because our partners and clients have a direct way of giving us that feedback, telling us, what works, what doesn't, what would they want to see. And that is what we do. So we look at that AHA portal. And if I'm not wrong, I think in the last 12 months, there would have been more than 500 requests.
Yeah, right.
That was submitted by our clients and partners on AHA portal.
Yep.
So we prioritize, we group them, and when we see, the ones which obviously provide the most value are the ones that our product teams takes up on priority.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
As we touched on earlier, IBM actively use Envizi internally. I'm assuming that encompasses sort of all the modules of Envizi. In my view, I think one of the most underutilized areas that would provide the most value to customers is the sustainability program tracking with Envizi.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what IBM have identified using that internally and some of the wins that IBM have had by utilizing Envizi internally?
Correct. So sustainability tracking, is a very interesting module. And obviously, clients kind of get to it a little later because, they kind of use the functionality of automating the data, getting the data in, doing the reporting, and then kind of getting into the sustainability program tracking. The way we had utilized this is, really comparing the sustainability emissions intensity for our locations, because IBM being across 192 countries, we have, more than 1,000 offices, locations worldwide. And it is very important for us to see, how are we comparing and doing one against the other. So sustainability tracking module actually provides us a very easy way of comparing, like-to-like offices and telling us, where are the opportunities to decarbonize.
Right.
Okay. So it was really instrumental in giving us insights on certain facilities that were highly energy intensive, weren't that efficient, and we were able to save quite a bit by minimizing the use of that space.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Yeah, great outcome. So, and you'd see similar stories amongst customers as well that you'd visit. Are there any customers that sort of stand out for you personally where customers have had wins and identified?
Yeah. So all the time. So this is an interesting sort of example. It actually came from a palm oil company, in Southeast Asia, and they were signatory to RSPO, which is Roundtable for Sustainable Palm Oil.
Right.
Now, and as part of that commitment, to one of their buyers, they wanted to put in carbon emission intensity on per barrel of palm oil.
Wow.
Okay. And when we had given them Envizi, this wasn't a requirement. And we never knew that this requirement will come up.
Yep.
So when this requirement came up, they looked at Envizi and they asked us, can Envizi do this? And we said, Envizi already does this. So you can just go into the sustainability reporting tracking module and you are able to see, per barrel of emissions intensity, and you will get your number. So they were able to do it, and they were able to compare it for different mills. So imagine this company had 7 mills in their sort of estate.
Yep.
And after comparing these mills, they were actually able to optimize some of the cost in terms of mill operations themselves. So, that is what the tracking module does for you. It not only saves carbon, but it saves you cost.
Well, that's brilliant. I mean, if you can save money and sort of decarbonize at the same time, I mean, that's an amazing outcome. So, yeah, great.
That's phenomenal.
So,
yeah.
So Scope 3, as we all know, is a big challenge in the ESG land.
The biggest,
and everyone struggles with it. Scope 1, Scope 2, easy reporting, not that bad, this kind of thing. I guess Envizi started off with surveys, pretty simplistic. Under IBM stewardship, you've obviously built in AI to help to then classify the Scope 3. We're also seeing now Sterling being used in supply chain as well. Is there more coming in the Scope 3 space? Do you think more is needed to help customers address the challenges around Scope 3?
Yeah. So I think scope 3 is going to be a continuous sort of complex cycle, because as it is growing, the industry was okay with spend-based analysis. It is very, very fast moving towards supplier-specific emissions. And then, I'm sure the industry is going to move majorly towards product carbon footprint, calculations as well. So look, today Envizi supports all of these, but I would say about 90% of our clients today do scope 3 using the spend-based analysis. So a lot more can be done in terms of, bringing and making it easier for companies to be able to capture data with suppliers, tier 1, tier 2, and then their own supply chains to be able to do the product carbon footprint calculations. And that is where I think our effort is. If we can make it simple and we can make it repetitive, we can make it integrated, where the organizations and their supply chains can actually become part of this whole chain and be able to provide that functionality. I think that would be great. So I think that is what we are trying to do on Scope 3.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And I mean, the palm oil example you gave earlier sort of feeds into that. You've used then Envizi to then help produce essentially the product carbon footprint of palm oil, which is great. And I think it's something that we'll see through supply chain agreements evolve over time with new regulations like ASRS coming through.
Totally.
The consumers will put into the agreements that we need PCF data for the product.
Totally.
That we're selling.
Totally.
Consuming.
We are already seeing that.
So Sachin, in your role across Asia Pacific, covering a ton of different geographies and countries and things, what are you seeing in organizations that you're talking to around sustainability? What are the key drivers, I guess, because obviously we've got a lot of visibility to it in Australia, but beyond Australia, in the a third of the rest of the world, what's driving businesses to the sustainability path? Is it purely regulatory? What's pushing boards and executives to make decisions in this space?
So I wouldn't say it is purely regulatory. Regulatory obviously plays an important role. I think organizations today want to play a stewardship sort of a role, when it comes to planet well-being, it comes to, sustainable sourcing, it comes to sustainable consumption, etc. So what I see is, most of the organizations where you have, the senior leadership, the board, the executives, really being driven and motivated by doing the right things, for the planet, for themselves, for the, for the countries where they operate in, and for their employees. I think sustainability is embedded in the whole life cycle of that organization. And that is where, when we kind of work with these organizations, I don't think the motivation is only reporting. Reporting, to be honest, sometimes is only a byproduct.
Right.
And they come to us and they say, look, we want to get started on this sustainability cycle. Can IBM help? Can Envizi help? And we say, yes, we start with that. The biggest challenge, of course, is data, in getting kind of data
foundation right.
Correct. Through different sort of systems of records, trying to automate as much as we can, using AI to help fill some of those gaps, and then be able to, move beyond reporting to say, where are the areas to optimize? Where are the areas where sustainability now becomes a differentiator for you as an organization? So the talk really is around, making sustainability a business imperative for the organization, a competitive differentiator for the organization, so which is well beyond reporting.
Yeah. So not just a reporting tool, a way of saving some money, carbonizing, and differentiating yourself in the market as well. So it sounds like a pretty compelling offering in that regard. I know that there's some additional AI features sort of in the works. I'm not quite sure if in the platform yet. I know they're close, and that's ingesting your existing reports for those people that have done reporting and the like. Are there any other tidbits you can tell us that might not officially be on the roadmap, but might be coming that you could share?
Sure. So I think product team is working very, very hard in terms of, new functionalities and getting all these on the roadmap. So, you are going to see a lot of scope 3 functionality kind of come in.
Yeah, right.
More moving from, as I said, spend based to all the way to product carbon footprint.
Yeah.
You will see a lot of financed emissions module, because that is something that, again, investors and financial institutions are placing a bet on. And
well, we're actually seeing a shift in some banking
exactly.
They're lending based on something.
Exactly. So it is going from sustainability into risk management, for these organizations, and it is equally, if not more important, for financial institutions to understand, where they are lending and what risk kind of are there. You will also see on sustainability reporting how AI is making it easier to do the whole reporting bit.
Right.
With all the different frameworks out there, and then using AI to actually fetch data from different reports, which your suppliers would have provided or shared, etc. There are many other functionalities as well, which is more in terms of other languages, that we are enabling and supporting on Envizi as well, because it's a global platform. There's probably not a continent that is not using it. Most of the countries are starting to use Envizi, and hence, we want to ensure that most of these languages also get supported on Envizi. So, these are only some of the new AI features that you're going to see on Envizi very, very soon.
Excellent. Looking forward to seeing them in action.
Yeah, me too.
We're seeing a lot of integration, I guess, with other IBM platforms now coming into the mix as well, with the likes of Maximo and Turbonomic. Are there other products that are being considered for integration into Envizi, where we can because obviously coming back to data, we talked about data capture being and building the data foundation, but
right.
the first fundamental. And every customer we're talking to, they're saying we want to automate that, which is a great journey and the right way to do it.
Yeah.
Obviously bringing that in from other platforms. Are there, so beyond Maximo and Turbo, any others that you're looking at the moment?
So we are looking at, all the relevant products where we have seen a client problem, on. So, for example, we are soon thinking of having integration to other products like Aptio, to kind of do overall cost of maintenance and sustainability, for an organization to be able to track it across departments, across organizations, and for them to be able to get an insight on, if they're using, for example, an AWS cloud, what it means on the cost, but what it means on the carbon as well. We are also building a sustainability solution for data centers, which is going to bring in energy management for these organizations. So you will see a lot more integration with, of course, beyond Maximo and Turbonomics, you will see it with Instana. You might see it with, some of the other wrappers, which will help us get that data around as well. Now, some of these integrations are all, that we are thinking of. They might or might not be on the roadmap right now, but we are constantly evaluating, these possibilities, because, when we go and talk to the industry, we have seen that a lot of these, products actually can be well integrated, to provide that solution to the client. The other one is also WatsonX, which is our AI platform, and that is getting embedded into Envizi as well. So a lot of AI features that you kind of see within Envizi, whether it is scope 3, whether it is finance emissions, whether it is, using AI to do spend-based analysis, WatsonX is already embedded, within Envizi to kind of do this. So yeah, so I think we look forward to integrating more and more products with Envizi, and that's going to be the way forward.
I'm going to put you on the spot. So are we only looking inside IBM, or do you think there may be integrations outside the IBM ecosystem as well?
We are not shopping only at IBM sort of integrations, so, and we obviously encourage our partners to kind of think through, what integrations feel natural. A lot of our partners actually build solutions on top of Envizi. So, I think that's a very, very natural choice because different markets have different needs, and we have seen different embedded solutions which actually make sense in the market. So so I think it's completely open in terms of any partner wanting to come in and do integration with Envizi and build their own solutions.
Brilliant. Should lead to some great innovation.
I think absolutely should.
So I'm seeing feeling a bit of a shift as we're talking to organisations, because ESG teams kind of fit in different organisations in different areas. But I guess particularly with ASRS in Australia, we're seeing, because of the regulatory requirements around that and already the regulatory requirements financially, so we're seeing a draw of ESG teams into more of that finance area, reporting up through the finance chain. Is that a trend you're seeing on a broader scale yourself, or where do you see the ESG teams sort of sitting in businesses in the longer term?
So we are seeing several trends, there. This is obviously a shift, as markets mature, as organizations mature, they are seeing that sustainability needs to be embedded in their sort of financial risk modeling. And that is where you see, sustainability getting more embedded and more sort of more collaborating with the finance departments and the organization. So yeah, you're right that it is coming, more and more closer to the finance departments in terms of working out, what it really means from a from a risk management perspective. So we do see that shift as well. In the less mature markets, I would say there are some other shifts as well that are happening. As these markets are maturing, the sustainability reporting tends to be sort of a lever, that they kind of come in with. But yeah, largely I would say, you are right that the financial risk management is actually sort of subsuming the sustainability part of the reporting as well.
That makes sense, because that ties in with, I guess, some of the newer modules we're seeing coming out in Envizi, like climate risk insights, for example, to help manage that risk profile.
Correct.
So,
as well as finance emissions.
And finance emissions,
yeah.
So, and are you seeing, I mean, it's very early days, obviously. Is there much of an uptake in climate risk insights? Many customers sort of...
Totally. Yeah. Totally. So I think organizations are realizing that the weather events are becoming more frequent and are becoming more intense. So they don't want to leave it to chance. I think there is not a country today that is not experiencing these weather events, and not an organization that is not bearing the brunt of it. Whether it is directly or even indirectly with their supply chain sort of risk, and all of them want to mitigate. Now, in order to mitigate, you need to first know what's going to happen and where it's going to happen. So that is where we see climate risk insights, being at the front end to provide them the insight on, look, these are my locations, these are my assets, these are my factories, my warehouses, my supply chain. Which ones are at risk? What risk is it, and how can I mitigate that risk? So absolutely, I think there is more demand for it than probably our partners and ourselves are able to serve today, on the climate risk side. So yeah, absolutely.
Good problem to have.
Good problem to have. Happy problem to have. Yeah, exactly.
So ASRS is, I guess, progressive implementation from a regulatory perspective in Australia, and Group 1's already reporting, Group 2's definitely getting ready for it, if not already reporting. And then Group 3 being, I guess, the smaller end and a less mature part of the market. Do you see Envizi only serving, I guess, the Group 1, Group 2s, or do you see Envizi as a capable product across the entire gamut of Group 1, Group 2, and Group 3?
So yeah, so I get that question all the time. How do you make Envizi relevant for Group 3, kind of companies as well? And so my answer is simple. Look, Envizi was not only designed for Group 1 and 2. Envizi was designed for all kind of customers, all kind of organizations, that need to be there. Now, obviously, some organizations in Group 3, who probably are very, very small, and they're just getting started on that journey. they might have a need for a simpler, solution, which, can easily be either catered through Envizi or maybe offering which can be on top of Envizi, which a lot of our partners actually provide today. So I would say, Envizi by design is relevant for all kind of companies, group 1 to group 3. But it is really up to an organization and up to a partner to kind of decide and say that, look, I can simplify it further by probably taking some market customized features and building in top of Envizi for group 3 organizations.
Yeah. So you think it's potentially more a matter of maturity rather than size that would be a driver for someone to look at something and feature rich as Envizi
and simplicity as well. Yeah. So I think those are the drivers. Correct.
Yeah. So, all right, Sachin. Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for having me.
To Tasmania to come and talk with us.
Thank you. Yeah, lovely place. It's been a lovely place for me.
Our pleasure.
Thank you.